Hello, hello. Nienke here from ninks.com. So I'm bringing you card number 2 of our Brightly Gleaming kit. I know I already uploaded video number 3, but I made so many mistakes on my first one, I decided to redo. So this is take 2 of card number 2. Okay. I'm going to jump in and do this. If you want to get all the information about the kit, you can go to the website and find it there. We get all my pieces from my kit. Now this is a fun fold or a gatefold card. You have the dimensions on a free downloadable PDF on my website. I'll just run through this one real quick. So it is 8.5 by 5.5, but just check me on my on the project sheet, and then you score both ends at 2 1/8. So if you have the trimmer, you will put it in, score at 2 1/8, rotate your cardstock and score at 2 1/8. Then you will see that you, with the, I don't know if you know, but with the scoring, you get like a hill side and you get the valley side, the indented one. So if you fold your card base, this is Mossy Meadow, you want to fold it towards the mountainside. The bumpy side will be on the inside, and you can just manipulate this a bit to get your fold nice and tight in the middle. Use your bone folder to really burnish that down, and that is the gatefold card that we're going to do today. You need 2 pieces of designer series paper. I use the Brightly Gleaming for the kit, and we're just going to adhere that to the front using some Stamp and Seal. And there's that pretty back side again. And then just center this in the middle of your gate, trying to align the, keep your 1/8 of a border all the way around. Then that's an easy way for me to check if you have your border the same on all the sides. You can also use that side. The contrast with the white on the stars was just what I liked. If you used maybe if you want to use a very vanilla for the base and then use this nice gold pattern, that will work too. What you can also do if you struggle with aligning is change, because this doesn't really have a it's not a directional paper. You can move your cardstock or just be mindful of the direction of your paper, and then if it's easier to change it like that and get it centered and keep your 1/8 inch border, that can work too. Find the way that works best for you. So that's our piece of designer series paper. Now we can start with our stack, layering our stack. Let's do our stamping first. I'm going to stamp my inside, get everything out for that. Stamp my inside, stamp my images. So I think I showed you previously my trick I have. I have 2 paper pumpkin blocks that I use for the kids. The girls, when we do our paper pumpkin kits. And if you don't have a big enough block yet, you can use the 2 paper pumpkin blocks, put them together and put your big stamp on top of that. These I think is only available for demonstrators, or if you're a paper pumpkin subscriber. I'm not 100% sure, but if you just let me know if you're interested in something like that, and I will see what I can do for you. Okay, so let's do our sentiment for the inside. I'm using the 4 Onto Us stamp set for all my sentiments for Christmas cards this year. I love this set. I love all the sentiments we have on here, and that's what I'm using. It's an add-on to the kit if you are interested in that. this will be my piece for my inside. I'm using the same one I'm using for all of my Christmas cards, so no surprise there. There we go. Cleaning off my stamp with my Simply chamois, and then I'm going to stamp this image to the bottom. I want these little ball chains, is that what it is, to be at the top there. It's easier when you have a big stamp to turn this around and ink it up that way. It's just some other reason that works better. You can also do it the other way around, but I usually end up sticking my fingers in the ink if I do it the other way around. So I want my little ball chains to be at the top. Now you're going to see the bottom part is not on the cardstock, so we're not stamping the bottom ornament on there. So it's going to look like that, and I will show you what we're going to do with that. Let's put this aside and do our last sentiment. It's also a long sentiment, but I'm going to use my D block for that. Use this one. Now you'll see if you just position it from corner to corner, you'll have this small, you can't even see, there's a tiny little piece sticking out. That won't matter, or you can do it with the D blocks too, with the two connected to each other, 2 blocks, or just get a big enough block. Maybe there's a tip. Now this is a very tiny little area, and I hope I get it in there. If I don't, then you know, it's handmade, right? Is that one down, that corner a little bit down, and let's see. Nice. With the photopolymer stamps, it's a little bit more difficult to, because they're not see-through, to guess where you are, but I love the detail on them. Done with all our stamping. I'm going to set that to the side. You will do one, you'll still stamp your ornaments. Let me show you. I've already done that for the sake of time. Where are they? Get all my pieces here. For the sake of the video. So you will need to stamp this twice, or stamp each little ornament if you already have all the pieces. So ink up your stamp and then place them on top. I just did them already to save some time. Now we're going to start with our matting. Use this. This I die cut from the Hippo and Friends dies. Let me see, where is it? Hippo and Friends dies. I love these dies. I've been using them all the time. So this is the medium one over there, and that is the biggest one, is that one that I used for this. This is cut out of Very Vanilla, so all the lighter ones Very Vanilla, and this is Mossy Meadow. So I cut that one out of Mossy Meadow. You can use your seal, or you can use liquid glue to do your stack. I'm not going to pop this up on dimensionals because, isn't this the new one? Yes, it is. I'm not going to pop it up on dimensionals because I'm going to pop the ornaments up, and I don't want my card to get too thick. But you definitely can, if you want to, keep your nice border all the way around so that it frames that nicely. And then I have 2 pieces also from the Hippo and Friends. Where did I put it? There. It's the biggest one of these curvy. So I cut one piece out of Old Olive, and I cut another piece out of Night of Navy. What I'm going to do with, because it won't work layering them on top of each other, I just wanted a little accent for this part. So I'm going to take my old olive piece, and if you have a trimmer, it's easy. You just connect these two on your trimmer and you cut them down. If not, you just grab your scissors. It doesn't matter how this side looks because it's going to be at the bottom. Just connect the two little pointy bits and remove, whoops, and remove the strip. So I'm just removing that piece so that we have it like that, and I'm going to add some glue to the edges, not all the way to the side, just like that. Let's do that one first. And grab your stack and then just eyeball, you know, it's sort of almost in the middle of this little piece there at the top and the bottom, and that's how we want that, just to peek out there. And we're going to do the same with the other side. You can also use your seal for this. I like the liquid glue because I can wiggle it around. Now what you want to look out for is that you have the same sort of size and that these line up. It lines up there and it lines up here. Mine is a bit, there we go, and then I think it needs to come in a little bit. That's all you do. There's no right or wrong, and if it's off with a couple of millimeters or what, it doesn't matter. You just want that piece like that. Now we're going to add our Night of Navy piece. We're going to rotate it so this one is like that, and then we're just going to rotate so that this round part is at the top and the bottom and the sides, and we're just going to adhere that right in the middle. So we want glue almost everywhere here. Let's get that, sort of use these as a guide. And check that you have that centered there and this piece centered here, and you can wiggle it around. I like picking my things, my cardstock up to check that I have it centered correctly, and there we go. That gives us a little accent, and there's our first stack. Now we're going to adhere our little ornaments, but before we do that, we want to color them, just give them a little bit of color. I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends. They come in a 2-pack like this. You get the light and the dark, so if you order the all-inclusive kit, you will get both of these. I'm just going to use the dark Old Olive. The color in the kit is Mossy Meadow. It doesn't matter, they look, this is the Old Olive and this is the Mossy Meadow. That's the difference between the cardstock colors. The blends, and I'm using Old Olive there as an accent anyway. So we're just going to go with it. This one is so teeny tiny, I don't even find anything I can color there. And we're just going to do this real quick. I think I'm doing the same coloring I did in the first video. You can shake it up, change it up, color whichever way you like. Quick coloring. So there's that done, and let's adhere this to our inside first. Centering as best you can. tack that down. Now remember, we want to have our gatefold open, so we're only going to add adhesive to the side we want to stick down. So I'm going to start with this one, and what I've found myself is if I put my hand over the part that I do not want glue on, that helps me to remember when I flip it over that we only want glue on this piece. Over here, I'm going to put it about a quarter of an inch or from the bottom the card, and then centered it will be the same as will end at the designer series paper, and then I can use these little stars to make sure that it's lined up. Just hold that there for a second, and now the same with the ornaments. Now we're going to remember that this one will be sticking out. I'm going to do this last because it's easier to hold this down without the dimensionals. So remember that this one is going to be down here, so you want to be at about 1/8 of an inch from your cardstock there at the top, so that this won't cover your sentiment here at the bottom. So we're going to leave a little bigger space here. Same thing, I have this in the middle. I'm going to put my hands where I do not want any glue. Just going to use liquid glue, and we don't want it all the way to the center, just on the side. Close this, center it, have it more to the top than to the bottom. There's your stack. And just check this, check your spacing, then you'll know if you are centered. And then also this is the middle of there, the middle here. Just hold this for a second. So now we can check that our card still opens nicely, and that is down there. I'm going to use my dimensionals to stick these back exactly where they go. That one only needs one there. This one also only needs one, little tiny ones. This one will be here. That one can get, I think, 3 about. Now because it's going to hang over this side, we don't really want to put dimensionals on this side, so I'm going to have them more over to that part there. And then this one can be, I think we can have 2 here is good. One there, one here. And then the same thing with this one. We don't want to stick a dimensional there because it's going to be hanging off there anyway. So let's put one on this end. And I think we can use just a little piece. You can always use the sides of your dimensionals if you just want a little piece, or just cut one in half. That works too. And now the same with the bottom one. You don't want to put dimensionals over here where you're going to stick your card close. So I'm only going to do the top part. Put one there. Make sure that it's not showing, and then I think I'll just cut this one in half over here. This one here. There's a little piece sticking over, just cut it off. And then this one like this over here. The whole piece is covered, and it's not at the bottom where you're going to stick your card closed. Start with this one. Where's my paper piercer with my new trick? That's way easier to get the backings off. That one there. This one here. Take your pick tool. I wonder what I called it again. This is a take your pick tool. because you can change the blades. So this one is, or the inserts, this is a little spatula and this is the paper piercer, and then on the other side it has that putty tip that I always use for my embellishments so that they don't run away. And then you get different inserts for here. You can do a little brush to get all of your die cutting out. I really love this tool. And I've found that with them, with the backings of the dimensional sticking to the tip, if you use this technique, they don't go everywhere. You have them contained. Where if you just like rip them off, they fly everywhere. I found them in the strangest places, just fluttering to the floor. So yeah, it's easier to keep them contained when they're stuck to the point. See, all together in a nice neat little heap for the trash can. Oh, that's that. We need some bling. I really love making this card. I think it's one of my favorites. What did I do with my wonderful gems? Wonderful gems. I love these gems. They are beautiful. I just received my new catalog for next year and I'm super excited about that. I have a great idea for Valentine's Day for the kids' note cards, so look out for that. I think I'll have the pre-registration for that class ready. If you want to pre-order your kit for the Valentine's Day, it will be somewhere in January. That's going to be a great kit. Okay, so here we're done with card number 2. I know I uploaded them incorrectly, but I had to redo this. If the card keeps on flopping up, let's just burnish that down a little bit more. But it's going to go in its envelope. So there's our fun little gatefold card. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye bye.